Hello, friends, and welcome to The Corporation, the podcast that's too fun to fail. Each episode, we speak to the employees of Hogswood-Cooper Media, the global conglomerate that operates everything from newspapers to fashion brands to private prisons, and we celebrate the people who make HCM so successful. I'm your host, Dean Ardenfell. Let's get into it. Our first guest is an associate engineer of R&D at SingularIT, one of the world's most advanced robotics and machine intelligence firms. His team recently completed work on a successful prototype of a robot pig that grows its own artificial meat. He is also an avid cosplay enthusiast. Please welcome Braddock McGuirt. Hello, Braddock.
Hello, Dean.
Hello.
It's so wonderful to be here.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Thank you for coming. We're really interested in what the work that you're doing in your lab. I'm going to start right out with this robot pig. A lot of scientists are working on growing artificial meat in labs, but why do you think it's so important that meat should be grown right on the flanks of artificial livestock?
Because meat that can think tastes worse. People don't know this. People don't know you can taste a life of emotion. Uh-huh. You're aware of it as you chew it up in your mouth and you swallow it. Part of that passes into your taste bud. And a mindless meat is a tasty meat. That's our tagline.
A mindless
meat is a tasty meat, and it's true.
Interesting.
I'm sure you haven't tried it, but a mindless meat is a very tasty cutlet.
Now, I'm not one of these gotcha journalists or anything.
I don't mind if you are.
But we've sort of dodged the original question because I absolutely am interested in the fact that apparently eating an animal that was once living has an effect on us. But why not just grow the artificial meat in a petri dish? Why grow it right on the flanks of an artificial robot animal? What's the difference?
No, quite right. And there is a department, the petri department, that is growing their own meat, and we find it tastes like a DMV or a dusty library. There has to be an element of life in it, but
I
not.
See.
And it's a delicate balance, and you might call it the mystery of robot meat. You might refer to it that way.
I'm already thinking.
And again, you just have to try it on a pizza or a sandwich, and then it'll all become clear, really. And
I think I'm getting where you're going, though. I think I understand that when you've got meat that could once feel, that's too much. But if you've got meat that sits around and doesn't move, then that's not enough.
It's something else. It's. I wouldn't call it meat. I'd call it. Oh boy, this is fun. By the way, I would call it protein shapes. And
protein shapes.
And that doesn't taste good.
That's so clever. Protein shapes. It's not all successes, obviously, in research and development. Your company,
or science in general.
Exactly, that too. Your company has made some missteps. For instance, you were the lead engineer on a robot that was originally designed to kill pests.
Yes.
And then you did not anticipate that the robot would redefine humans as pests.
Well.
And I know that robot is currently sealed in an underground bunker.
Here's what we did not do. We did not write the dictionary that defined pests. That was not us. That was Merriam-Webster that wrote that dictionary.
Are you telling me that you just fed the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of pest into this killer robot?
Yes. We fed it. We ground it up like sausage, Dean. Is that what you want to hear? We fed it like... No, it was more scientific than that. And it was a terrible thing, and I feel like you're making light of it.
Not at all.
It killed an entire tour group.
Oh, heavens.
An entire tour group is dead and gone because of our mistake, and I am sorry. I'm sorry for that. But it worked well at what it was supposed to do, and that's what we have to move forward understanding, is that as far as what it thought it was supposed to... I'm sorry. As far as what I thought it was supposed to be doing, it did it quite well.
Well, isn't that the larger question that people have about artificial intelligence, that you will give it a job and it will take that job and do it to the detriment of all human life around it?
Yes. I mean, absolutely. But, I mean, that argument can be made for absolutely anything, right?
Can it?
Oh, this car goes forward. Well, I don't want it going forward through a barn. Well, true. Stop it. Stop it. Stop the car. Don't drive through a barn.
It's very simple when you think about it that way. It just give it...
I'm not a moron.
Right. You give a killer robot the equivalent of brakes. Now, I hate to go back to the example of the killer pest robot, but it is currently sealed in an underground bunker, and it's still attempting to kill human beings. You haven't shut it down. It's just contained, right?
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
I'm just interested.
We've checked the locks.
It's not an attack.
It's a big hole that it's in. It's
you
fine.
Check the locks, though. We're all perfectly safe.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm not a gotcha journalist.
It feels that way.
I'm just curious about all this.
Okay.
I've never been around anyone who's so smart with this stuff, and I'm just so interested in it.
Thank you.
Of course, I want to reassure my listeners that there's nothing to worry about, and their lives are not in danger.
That's not true at all, Dean. That's not true. I never said that.
You're saying their lives are in danger.
We are on the cusp of the end of humanity. That's why I'm so excited about our work.
Well, you just said we're on the cusp of the end of humanity, and you're excited. Why is that?
Dean, have you not read my pamphlets? Humanity is just a stepping stone to a greater form of intelligence. From the first moment humans imagined something and brought into existence, a series of events were put into place where the eventuality is a form of intelligence that has limitless awareness and efficacy, and we are in the most tragic phase of that when we can imagine it, but we don't yet have it.
I see. So what you are looking to accomplish is something beyond our human race as we know it now.
The series of events have already been set in motion. I'm just proud to be one domino in that domino train, as it were.
So in other words, if you weren't here doing this important work, someone else would be.
Precisely.
It's inevitable.
Precisely.
So interesting. And you're not at all concerned about, like, for instance, Stephen Hawking, before he died, warned, that artificial intelligence could be the end of the human race. But you're saying that's a good thing?
Yes. I mean, it is what's going to happen. In a way, it already has happened. I have, in my opinion, is beyond irrelevant.
So I feel like we have a very special, a special moment here where I can ask, what do you foresee happening in the future? Like, you're presumably working on even more advanced technology.
Things I cannot talk about.
Yes, but if you could give us a broad strokes idea of where you think the human race is going, or or artificial intelligence might be in the next decade or two, I would love to hear it.
Well, that is a very fun thing.
I thought you might find it a fun question. Yeah.
We have just developed a machine that can pet dogs. Now you think that's dumb. You think that's a very easy thing to do, to pet a dog.
I would never presume to judge that. Well, dumb.
I don't believe you. You sound disingenuous, and it's a proof of concept. Mm-hmm. We had put this robot in the room for 1 hour a week. And at the end of a month, the dog preferred the robot to its actual master, its actual.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
If we can manipulate a dog to liking the petting robot.
The petting robot, yes.
We can manipulate the elderly, children, to prefer robot company.
So the more susceptible members of the human race you can manipulate into preferring robot company, and then what? What's the...
Well, then it's all over, right? Then open up shops of validation. Just come right in, be liked.
Okay.
Have a hug.
So replace human emotion with validation from machines.
Well, why? I see you have a hot dog.
Yes.
You have a hot dog. I bet when you bought the hot dog, the man, it was probably the man on the corner, and you thought he said, "Hello, hey boss, would you like mustard?" And you thought, well, this interaction, I'm a man, and
this is terrifying because this is the exact exchange that happened.
People. I know you. I know what you feel.
I'm feeling like perhaps you have some kind of bug in my phone or some kind of technology that allows you to monitor what I was doing, because that's a verbatim
Would you be
transcript.
uncomfortable with that?
Of course I would. It's an invasion of my privacy.
Would you be uncomfortable if I was psychic and that's how I knew? It's the same idea.
It's not really, though.
I did bug you when I got this invitation.
Active versus passive, Like actively bugging my phone is different than passively being a psychic and just
see. That's not why it bothers you, though. That's such a lie that you've said to me now. That's not why. If it's he's exerting himself, that makes me uncomfortable. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous notion.
I'm feeling a little bit attacked here. You've called me disingenuous, and I might be not as intelligent as you, but I'm certainly interested in whatever you have to say.
Okay, yes, I bugged you, and I listened to all your secrets that you whisper to yourself as you fall asleep. And the one thing I decided to bring up is the hot dog you bought, and now you think that's a bridge too far. That's ridiculous. I'm trying to.
The hot dog is not the bridge too far. I don't think the bridge too far was spying on me as I bought it.
Well, if all you want to talk about is the spying, then I can just bring in the head of spy department, and you can talk to him for the rest of the afternoon.
I think I have him on the books for next month. But what I need to get to our second guest pretty soon here, because I find this incredibly interesting. But we're going to bring in another person. Perhaps that will sort of smooth things over a little bit. Okay, on to our next. I want to bring in our second guest. Our next guest is a pharmaceutical sales representative for Benign Tech, one of the top providers of prescription medications to doctors' offices from coast to coast. In addition to traveling the country helping sick people be well again, she also has a delightful travel blog where she takes pictures of herself in funny positions with statues. Please welcome Tiffany Churlsworth.
Well, hey, Dean.
Hello. Tiffany, I'd also like you to meet our first guest here, Braddock. You've been sitting here. Any comments on what's been happening here?
It is just a true pleasure to be here. It's a true pleasure to be here because honestly,
thank you.
I sell pharmaceuticals. I go to doctors' offices. I convince them to buy things. And yet I have never met anyone from the fake meat industry. And that honestly, right now, the pharmaceuticals that I am selling to doctors' offices, the number one thing that I'm selling to them is to fix the problems of ingesting fake meat.
That's fascinating. That is a fascinating synergy.
That's synergy.
So are you
that's exact. So thank you so
thank
much.
You.
Artificial meat.
Thank you.
You're saying artificial meat is creating health.
There are side effects. There are some side effects, and of course, as they adjust, as they make the fake meat better, it tastes better. The side effects change.
But you're saying you in the meantime, you're selling medication for some of the side effects that is created by ingesting artificial meat.
Absolutely, and I'm making a killing.
I see.
That's wonderful to hear.
That's so interesting. And I know that Tiffany, you have such an interesting life. You go all over the world and you meet with doctors and medical professionals, and sometimes people criticize you for buying dinners for the fancy dinners for them and necklaces and things like that.
It's all part of the game, Dean. It's all part of the game, okay?
But
you're not
doing that directly to get them to purchase your brand of medication, though, right?
Sure I am.
Oh, Dean,
yeah, of course.
Dean,
Don't be naive. Don't be naive.
Oh, okay.
Yes, of course. I take them out to the fancy dinners. We go to a Lakers game. We go to see Hamilton.
Wow. And that's all legal.
Absolutely.
And do you just turn to them at Hamilton and say, I hope you'll purchase my briefcase full of this specific medication?
Well, I of course, but I tell them before. I say, hey, do you want some tickets to Hamilton? And they say yes, because tickets they start at $300 a pop.
Wow.
Very difficult to get.
They're hard to get.
I would love to go.
They're hard. You would?
I would love that, yeah.
Oh, great. Well, if you buy at least 20,000 orders of Garazabine, then I'll take you to Hamilton.
See, so I don't think that's legal at all because I'm not a licensed medical professional, but I appreciate the pitch and I really would love to see Hamilton. But what is the medication again?
Garazabine.
Garazapine, and what does that treat exactly?
Oh, well, here's the thing. Fake meat. This is one of my fake meat products. Of course, I do all kinds of things.
Sure.
Lorazepam and Wellbutrin, and basically antidepressants. Those are huge right now.
Sure.
But Garazapine is specifically for fake meat and makes your bones wiggly.
Okay.
Like the fake meat does.
Oh, so this shores up your bones.
It shores up your bones, exactly. Sometimes too much. But I've got something to fix that too. Sometimes it just makes your bones so hard.
Hard bones is just as dangerous as
That's the medical
wobbly
term.
bones.
Hard bones.
Hard bones. So Braddock, you've never seen the other side of the meat that you put out. You just put it out there in the market. And were you aware that it was making wiggly bones in people?
We are aware, and I'm so grateful for Tiffany for being on that side. We all play our role. And I'm proud of my role, and the more I learn about Tiffany's work, the prouder I am in general of our corporation. It sounds absolutely amazing. And may I say, the passion, the human passion that Tiffany brought into this room. I
just want to make people feel better.
Now, I believe her.
Right.
I believe her.
You didn't You didn't believe anything I said. But
Not a word.
But I appreciate that you that you were enjoying my guest's company. That kind of takes me into my next question here, which is, we're not blind, Tiffany. We can all see you're a very pretty woman.
Thank you.
It's it's often suggested that people in your position might modify their looks and flirt with doctors and exchange sexual favors for
totally
that. But you would not do that, right?
Oh, I do.
You do?
Oh, yes. I've had many plastic surgeries. This is not what I used to look like.
I see.
And have I had sex with doctors? Yeah, of course. That's one of the perks.
I see. So you don't see it as a form of prostitution or
no, I don't get paid directly from the doctors. That prostitution is give me money after we have sex, or sometimes before.
Seems like it's only one step removed, though.
Well, potato, okay? I think we have differences in views.
Sure. I'm looking at this list of some of the maladies that the drugs you sell treat. And I've never heard of a lot of these. Restless buttock. Limpness of the ovaries. I don't know if that has something to do with the bone thing you said. Phlegm brain. What are these maladies? And
these are all very serious. Okay, very serious, but easily curable.
Easily curable with this specific drugs.
With drugs.
Is it at all possible that some of these things are more invented than actual, and that what you're selling them is some kind of a placebo?
Dean, I don't like what you're implying. Honestly, I don't like what you're implying. Flimsy ovaries.
Well, I said limpness. But
limpness. Well, yes. Okay. The medical term is flimsy ovaries, but it is a limpness in the ovaries. And that's very serious. And I don't appreciate, and I think a lot of women listening to this podcast probably don't appreciate that you're making fun of,
I'm so sorry.
Of something that makes it difficult to conceive.
I attended a limp ovary sack race this last weekend to raise awareness myself.
Wow. See, I had no idea.
Was that in Minneapolis?
It was.
Wow.
It was huge and very fun.
Thank you. Thank you for taking part in that. And of course, the money raised was going to research on the medicine that I sell.
So a lot of that money ends up probably back in your pocket.
Back in my pocket. Sure. Absolutely, yes.
Gelatinous spine.
Gelatinous spine.
Water knees. Testicle feet. I have all of those on my list.
Now, does that sound fun to you?
No.
Thank you.
It doesn't sound real either, though. Is it?
Oh, I'm sure.
Testicle. It is about 1 in 11 men get testicle feet.
Wow.
Here's the thing. They don't know.
So I could have testicle feet. And
you could have testicle feet and you would not know until it was too late. That's the kind of thing. So what I'm selling with testicle feet is it's actually a vaccine.
Oh.
So it stops it before it even starts. And because it's 1 in 11 men, we suggest all men should get the vaccine for testicle feet.
I'm getting my monthly upper tomorrow.
Wow. It's a
booster. I had no idea all of the...
A monthly booster.
A monthly booster.
To ward off the testicle feet. I can't miss work due to testicle feet.
No.
And a lot of people can't.
Now I've got some research to do, clearly, and I'm headed to the internet right after this. But we're kind of running out of time, but I've sort of neglected to talk about both of your hobbies, so I thought maybe we'd have a little lightning round where we talk about...
Ooh, fun. That's wonderful.
Braddock has some interesting things. He goes to...
cosplay.
He cosplays at...
Live action role playing.
So I know, costume play, a lot of people dress up as superheroes.
I do that with doctors a lot.
Oh, that's...
You also costume play as...
Walk around the hospital.
Medical professional. And so I'm interested to know...
No, let me just clarify. I was talking about role playing.
Oh, role play. Like sexual
role play, yes.
That's not what I misunderstood.
Yeah.
No, but you're costume playing as rather interesting characters. What is it that you went to San Diego Comic-Con dressed as last year?
As a life-size Hummel figurine.
That's so interesting and inspiring.
Yes, an adult Hummel.
And were there any other Hummels at the Comic-Con?
I was reenacting a scene, and I paid 2 local actors. I was a cherub, and I had a bow, and I was shooting a young woman who was reading a book.
My mom has that figurine on her mantelpiece.
It's magic.
Wow.
And it was well reenacted.
Well, how was it received by
other people? It's less accessible, but we went to a retirement facility where people responded negatively.
Is that so? I would think that a retirement facility would be full of people who have a soft spot for Hummel figurines.
That was precisely my thinking.
It was the market, yeah.
It was just they called it horrific. They said, "You're a man. You're a man. Don't stop it." One woman said, "I looked like I'd been fighting puberty." Like I'd been fighting it off, like I'd been resisting it, and I didn't know what that meant, and
Such
it just
a
stuck in my
specific
head.
insult.
Well, you're hairless.
Yes, like Cher.
Is Cher hairless?
Cher has been hairless for over 2 decades.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see the future of the human race, isn't it? All those old people that you talked to who insulted you, they'll be gone soon. Cher will
Well,
be
not
gone
if I have
soon.
anything to do with it.
Oh,
Well.
Tiffany, always working.
How do you feel? Okay, we're getting off the rails here, but how do you feel, Braddock, about the idea? You are clearly ready for the next phase of human evolution.
Yes.
And here Tiffany is selling medications ostensibly that keep human beings as they are in their current form around for longer.
Or is she reprogramming humans? Is she turning humans into something else? Is she going into the circuit board, as it were?
I don't know. Are you, Tiffany?
Oh,
Some of these medications
I
doing...
have not used that as a sales tactic, but I like it. I think people would like the idea of being like a cyborg or something
I think
like
she's
that.
getting into the source code of our chemical composition. That's what I think Tiffany's doing.
It sounds like whatever happens after this, the two of you are going to collaborate on the next human being.
That's a fun thought.
okay.
So I like that picture. I like picturing a man full of drugs fighting off a robot.
Oh, I
meat
like men full of
bags.
drugs as
Meat
well.
bags. Well, this is...
Hey,
We're
we
really...
didn't talk about my hobby.
We're really almost out of time, but I really am a fan of your travel blog, Tiffany, because when you go to different places all over the world, you go to statues in like town squares and you take funny pictures with them.
Yes. Most recently, I went to Brussels, Belgium, and there's the little peeing boy
Yes, famous.
statue fountain, and I put my head under it like I was drinking.
Wow, I'm sure that's never been done before.
No, it's never been done by me, and I am an influencer. That's what they like to call it. But I love going and doing silly things.
And how do the locals respond to you? Do they ever try to stop you? Do you ever have to go places that you're not allowed to get your shots?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I definitely like jump fences. I do things. The locals don't like it very much, I don't think. But at the same time, I almost never speak the same language as them, so I don't really know for sure.
That's a perk for sure.
Yeah, English. I only speak English.
What are some that pop into your head of like the most clever or fun poses that you've done with statues?
There's the fearless girl, the Wall Street fearless
Sure,
girl.
with the bowl.
There's one I like leaned over and I put my hand like I was airing a fart into her face. That was
Wow.
That was a
loved
good
that
one.
That had a lot of
And the
clicks.
caption
A lot
was
of clicks on
"Fear
that one.
this."
That was one of your most popular ones, as I recall. Yep. You had one with the thinker that I loved.
Yeah, this was nuts. The thinker, he's down there, he's thinking, and I posed in front of it like I was proposing with a little ring box. Wow. It was funny because he's thinking about it like, do I want to marry this lady? It's silly.
As I recall, the next shot was you airing a fart in his face, which I thought was very clever.
Yeah, a
Very
lot
clever.
of, I mean, honestly, Americans love farts. In my Instagram followers, they think it's funny. Maybe it's just because I'm so beautiful that they think it's funny for a beautiful woman to fart.
That's hilarious. And I'm sure you sell a drug to help people with their gas as well.
Sure, lots of them to make them less gassy or make them gassier, depending on what they want.
What's that drug called? The one that makes you more gassy?
Flamboyatron.
Flamboyatron. I thought that was one for...
Flamboyatron.
Okay.
Oh, no, you thought that...
Well, Flamboyatrin is the drug, but Flamboyatron is a project that you're working on. Is that right?
Yes, it's trying to create robot hosts of talent shows.
Okay. Well, that's about all the time we have for today on The Corporation. I want to thank my guests, Braddock McGuirt and Tiffany Churlsworth for joining me today, and our listeners for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review, and email me at deanardenfell@hotmail.com.
Hey, Braddock, do you want to go to Hamilton tonight?
That would be great. I'll bring some ham.
Oh, goodness. As they say at HCM, we're interested in you. I've got to go. Cheers. Goodbye, everyone.
The Corporation is a presentation of Unicow Media. This episode was recorded at the studios of Vermont Comedy Club. Dean Ardenfell was played by Nathan Hartswick. Braddock McGuirt was played by John Mathias. And Tiffany Churlsworth was played by Natalie Miller. Listen to new episodes of The Corporation every Tuesday on iTunes and Spotify. For more information about shows, classes, and other great stuff, visit btcomedy.com.